Thanks, guys, for that second shipper update of the morning. We're going to bring on our next live guest for you on FreightWaves Now. We've got Richard Gottlieb, who's the CEO of Global Toy Experts and also the publisher of Global Toy News, talking to us a little bit about, will this Christmas Scrooge impact the toy industry as well? Richard, welcome to FreightWaves Now.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's good to have you on. We're talking a little bit about earlier with Andrew Cox how the retail apparel side could be stressed for Christmas. What about the toy side? We're already talking about Christmas buying. People are starting to get orders in. Are kids going to go without toys this Christmas from their behavior?
Well, they're going to have toys. They may not get the toys they want, but they'll have toys. 86% of the world's toys are made in China. And so that puts the toy industry very much at the behest of our logistics industry.
We're worried. Amazing. That is amazing. That is amazing. Hey, good morning, by the way, Richard.
Good morning to you.
First, most important question: can you get me a deal on an OMG doll or an LOL doll for my daughters? And secondly, what's it look like? So they're going to get toys, right? But what's it looking like going forward? You talk about the no apparel on shelves, that type of stuff. They're going to get toys, maybe not the ones they want. Break that down for us a little bit.
Well, I just got a call from someone this morning who has been fighting to get several containers out of China. Everything was all set to go, and there was not enough room on the ship for the container. And so this is our vital shipping season. This is when all these products you see at Christmas start flowing into warehouses so they can, be merchandised on the shelves. And so a lot of it's going to depend on who the toy company is and how much power they have.
And so when we're talking about that power, it's really kind of, you could get the container space, you can get your stuff into it, but you have to pay these premiums to get on the ship and to get it across the Pacific. And then once you get across the Pacific, there's no guarantees of how long it's going to take to get you unloaded, transloaded, and then shipped to your final destination. Talk to us a little bit about the downstream effects that this stress is going to have on the consumer in the long run. Is it that you're going to have less options for toys and then you're going to end up paying more for those toys?
Well, I think that absolutely you're going to have to pay more for toys. We have situations now where the cost of the container has more value than the cost of the goods on the container. And this is particularly a problem, I think, in lower priced products. I'm really going to be interested in seeing how Dollar Tree, which everything has to be under $1. I'm not sure how they're going to manage all this because these are ridiculously high rates. I just told again yesterday one of my associates was quoted $18,000 on a container from Hong Kong to the U.S. East Coast.
Wow,
It's insane. Yeah, no, the pricing is absolutely insane. So, Richard, you're a consultant, CEO of Global Toy Experts. What is your involvement with the toy companies? Are you working with the actual toy company shippers? What are you doing there to help? What do you do there to help them through the pandemic and the results of it?
We provide 360-degree consulting on everything from sourcing in China to logistics right through the other end, with selling the product. So we provide information on that. Plus, we have a magazine, Global Toy News. We have a podcast, the Playground podcast. We really get into we're the voice of the toy industry in terms of really talking about these issues that are affecting the industry so much right now. And of course, all the concerns with whether the retailers will accept price increases. Walmart and Amazon have an enormous amount of power in determining that. So it's a very complex period right now.
So, Richard, how has that work with consulting changed as we've seen kind of the downfall of toy-specific stores, right? We're talking about, I remember there was this little tiny toy store that used to be in my mall at home that I would go in all the time.
Toys R Us?
Those are gone. Toys R Us, pretty much, I'm not talking about Toys R Us, but Toys R
I
Us
know.
famously,
Just
you know,
joking.
went out with a bang, came back, and then fizzled out once again. How has that change of the majority of toy buying moving to online or through these bigger retailers, how has that changed what you guys do with consulting in the industry?
Well, first of all, let me just say that it's really interesting. I've been tracking toy sales since 1980, and no matter if it's a bankruptcy uh, or a recession, people buy toys, and they'll find the toys. So when Toys R Us went out of business, they moved their consumption to Amazon and Walmart and Target. So we have been for quite some time now been dominated by very very few large chains. We live with it. We
Yeah,
don't
you
have
get
much
through it.
choice.
Yeah, you get through it. And in my family circles, it's in my kids' circles, it's Learning Express is the place to go right now for
Yeah.
toys. They carry a bunch of cool stuff that's very popular. But I wanted to ask you this though too. You know, toys are very much plastic centric. There's a ton of plastic toys. I don't think that's a shock to anybody. Is the like the caucus of environmental legislatures putting through the what is it, the extended producer responsibility legislation? I think like 5 or 6 states now have that. Is that affecting the toy industry? Can you talk to that a little bit of what they're looking at there?
Well, there is a growing sensitivity in the toy industry to the public's reaction to plastic waste, particularly in the oceans, to the point that Burger King and McDonald's stopped putting toys in their Happy Meals.
Yeah.
In the UK, there was so much pushback. So there is a search for uh, alternative plastics. The ones I've seen so far, they're okay. We're not quite there yet, but I think you will. Plastic will not go away, but we will come to a time when we have far more biodegradable plastic in the not too distant future.
And so, Richard, you mentioned that overwhelming majority of the toys that come into the United States from China. How have the continued problems with COVID outbreaks in China and really across Southeast Asia contributed to this slowdown or the stress on getting these toys over here in time for Christmas ordering?
Well, you know, we just had that major problem at the port of Yantian, and that port is very close to both Shenzhen and Hong Kong, which the whole Pearl River Delta there was the toy capital of the world. That's where most of the world's toys are made. So that port was hit with COVID heavy, and they were down to 30% productivity at one time. So at this point, we are still things are getting back to normal, but that was a problem. But as far as the factories are concerned, it seems like they're turning out the toys okay. The problem really is the logistics aspect.
Right. And so you mentioned that you guys have this podcast. You guys are the consulting agency. If people want to listen to this podcast, is there a specific place that they can find it on? Are you guys on Spotify, Apple Podcasts?
We're on all of them, and it's called. You have to do the Playground Podcast. I do that with my co-host Chris Byrne, and we talk about the business of play. And Global Toy News, our magazine, is also about the business of play, just in a written format.
Excellent.
And
Thank you so much, Richard. Hey, Richard, if people want to learn more and find out what you're doing there and get some more information, where do they go to?
GlobalToyExperts.com. Love to hear from them.
Excellent
Perfect.
stuff. Thank you so much, sir.
Thanks so much for joining us this morning on FreightWaves Now. Have a good rest of your day.
Enjoyed it.
Good stuff there. And you
I
know
wonder how
what?
many years experience as an elf you have to be a global toy consultant?
He said that the majority of toys come from China. I thought that they were all coming from the North Pole.
They are. They are. I think he's misguided.
Don't ruin the Christmas magic.
Don't ruin it.
Don't ruin it.